Welcome to the DFY show. My name is Damilola. So today we are going to be talking about balancing positive thinking with reality. So what do we mean by positive thinking? So let's start to break it down. Now, positive thinking can be defined as a mental attitude and a mindset that focuses on the optimistic and hopeful aspect of life, even in the face of challenges and setbacks. So, like we said earlier, sometimes it can be difficult to really bring ourselves out of the challenges we are facing through positive thinking. But I really believe that there are strategies and there are ways that we can go about this. So we dive into this topic, we're just going to hear from people. Before I have my own contributions, we're just going to hear from people. What do they know about balancing positive thinking with reality? And let us just know, how can you manage this situation? Hi, Mercy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, so have you ever faced a situation where you had to use positive thinking? Actually, probably in a situation in school or home. Can you just share that experience with us?
Okay, I will just share a very recent experience. I don't know how this will be really helpful to those that are listening. I'm planning my wedding for June next month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I lost my mom last month.
Oh, sorry about that.
And it came, a lot of issues came up, and the resolve was, for some persons, it was just cancel the wedding so that you can mourn and all. But I kept looking at the original purpose, the vision I have, the plan I have, the desire I have is actually to settle down pretty soon. Though an occasion happened that should have been a discouragement or should have taken my complete attention. But looking at what God, when God has a plan already for a man, though some things might come in as wind and trouble your boat at some point, because it will not be all rosy. Yeah, it won't be just, everything will not just keep falling into place as planned. Some issues will come up, all in the bit of taking your focus and attention away from the main thing, from the original thing. But if you are able to keep your gaze on your purpose, your drive, your focus, I think whatever the life will throw at you will just be a test of your faith, a test of how much you believe in that thing you're running towards. How sure are you that you really want to attain that goal? How sure are you that you are ready to hold on to whatever vision you've had? Yeah, so it is important that you know, when you are running towards a goal, a desire, of course, issues will come. It doesn't promise to be all rosy. Things will come that will be direct discouragement. In fact, it will seem impossible. It will seem as though there is no road there. But once you focus on the main goal, you would achieve with the help of God.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I really can relate with it, because sometimes it feels like, okay, we can do everything, and then sometimes we're just thrown in a tower, and that's where the part of God comes in and asking God for help. So I believe that even though life can throw its balls at us, I think there are ways that we can still ensure that we pass through that situation. And I believe that every one of us have one or two challenges that we go through. Everybody, either personally or maybe through relationships or through our family. We all have something that we've gone through. We all have something that we are going through. And even look at it, coming from when we've been little, we've always been able to have ways to scale up or ways to solve particular problems. And growing up as adults now, the ability for resilience. I was listening to an audio event before we started this one, and it was a conversation of how can you stay strong in the face of job search. For example, you're trying to look for jobs. How can you ensure that you still have your sanity? And one of the speakers said that you need to understand that all of these are phases, and that the ability for you to even prioritize your mental well-being and understand that there's some certain situations that you yourself cannot even handle. So how then do you manage this situation when it comes at you? How do you manage this situation in order not to escalate more than it should? And I really believe that the strategies we're going to share today is really going to be helpful, and also the experience of other people as well is going to help us. And if you're just joining us for the very first time, I'm saying a big welcome to you. If you would like to join the conversation, just ensure your hands are up so that I'll bring you on the spotlight, and we are having a conversation on balancing positive thinking with reality. So I'm going to give the mic now over to Maftoso. Apologies if I don't get your name right. Can you kindly unmute?
All right, thank you so much. I hope you can hear me right now. Yeah, thank you so much for this program. First of all, I would like to thank you for organizing this event. What I can say is banking on God. Banking on God can really help, because in the issues that I've gone through, I never found hope anywhere else. I read books. There was nothing that I got. I just back, so I can encourage anyone else, maybe going through the same challenges. At least if we try God, He will never disappoint us, and He has promised us already in that.
Thank you so much, and I pray that God would really give you healing, and in Jesus' name, whatever challenges it is you're going through, God will definitely bring you out of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and also talking about challenges and strategies. Yes, we're trying to address challenges, and one of the best ways to learn is by hearing from people's experiences, because no matter the amount of books we read, like you said, there is nothing as much as really hearing from people who has gone through the challenge. I remember a post from a lady that said she was reading so many books about being a mom and about how to really prepare for being a mom. But when life challenges, or when she eventually became a mom, the reality was really different. And I really believe that experiences is what really shapes us. And so we're going to talk about how we can overcome this by God's grace. And we would also want to hear how people also overcame their challenges. So I'll give the mic on to Faiziat.
Hi, Damilola.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for hosting this event. I really appreciate it. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. So, I want to share my experience on how positive thinking has helped me grow to where I am today. I joined LinkedIn 8 months ago, and compared to how I was 8 months ago, I believe that I've reached a remarkable place in my life. So I attended an event 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tech event.
Okay.
The social media girl, she invited me to talk about my experience with tech during just a get together on tech. So when I spoke about 5 minutes about the importance of tech and what I've learned with tech and everyone. During that time, I was just a content writer and also a futter student. So as a futter student, being a content writer is just been like you are just a content writer. Everybody is a content writer. So there's nothing that really sets me out from the crowd. So after the event, I noticed that the media girl, she started uploading people's videos on their page. So I went through the page. I went through about 50 of their posts, and I realized that she didn't upload my video. At that point, I was really bothered because I felt like I said something significant and she did not upload my
Video.
And I realized that it's not, she focused mostly on people that are well known, that have something they are doing, and they have a particular, like I said, I was just a content writer, and maybe to her, content writing is not a tech skill. So she focused mostly on UI UX, web development, and that was the point I tried um to make use of my life. I wanted to be something better. It was like a trigger for me to be better. So I organized, like I got on LinkedIn, I started my journey. I organized a consistency challenge, 120 days challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really difficult. At some point I wanted to give up, but because I know what my goal is, and I keep telling myself that I can do it, I can be a better person. I was able to achieve all this within 8 months of just being on the app. So to me, positive thinking is like something that draws you to be a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
What you think inside will be projected. If you consider yourself a failure in your mind, you might probably not achieve much because you'll be discouraged. You'll be like, what's the point of doing all this?
Yeah.
But if you project yourself to be someone good, someone that is going to achieve something, it will definitely come. You'll see the result no matter how long it takes. So that's just what I want to say. Thank you for organizing this event.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Faisia. Thank you so much. I really agree with what you said about having that positive mindset. Though situation of somebody might be different to someone else's situation. Now, talking about the first lady that spoke about her losing her mom, losing one of her parents before her wedding, I can imagine how it must have been for her. And that kind of situation, how she would definitely handle that is different from someone that would probably handle a breakup. How someone would go through the pace of maybe death of a loved one, or maybe losing jobs, or maybe losing someone dear to somebody can be different from how another person can either undo ease our pain. And I think one of the first things that we all need to know is, okay, when a certain situation happens, we need to first acknowledge that there is a problem. Now, I remember one of my friends had a situation whereby she had something that happened to her, but she's trying, whenever I asked her, okay, how are you feeling? She would say, okay, I'm fine. But the problem is, you're not acknowledging that you're hurt. You're not acknowledging that there is a problem somewhere. Because even if you can't acknowledge that, okay, this thing happened, how are you going to solve that challenge that is in hand? So the ability to know that, okay, I'm enough, or this thing that happened is not the end of my life. How can I pick up my life again? So I really think that one of the best ways to challenge your situation with positive thinking is by saying that, look, this thing has happened. It has happened. It's not my fault. Even if it's my fault, how can I rectify it? Even if it's somebody else's fault, would I hold this person accountable for the rest of my life? So the first thing I would say is acknowledging that the fault has happened, acknowledging your pain, and acknowledging that, okay, this thing is here to stay, or this thing is here for a temporary time. How can I move forward? So we'll take on Paul, then we'll move on to other people. Hi Paul, how are you doing today?
Hi, Damilola.
Yeah, hi. How are you doing today?
Hi, Damilola. Can you hear
Great.
me?
Yes, I can.
Good afternoon. This is my first time of coming on live on the program like this.
And the first thing to say that a lot of people have literally said, Dami, that this is my first time attending LinkedIn audio. And I'm like, okay, I think I deserve some accolades.
Yeah, it's actually very, very nice. And when I saw the topic of discussion, I was intrigued and I just wanted to chip in my own 2 cents and just give my contribution. Now, for me, I would agree with the last speaker. She actually nailed it the way I would have loved to do. Now, for me, positive thinking and reality are two different things. However, to balance your reality, you must have a positive thinking mindset. Positive thinking is like faith. Yeah, we all know faith. It's a belief. Now, having positive thinking means you believe in whatever you're thinking about or whatever you are doing. You need to have a positive mindset to be able to succeed in life. However, positive thinking without work will never make you succeed. Now, I heard a pastor said something recently that, or you go to a church and they ask you to bring or to donate or bring offering of let's say ₦1,000,000, and then don't worry, God will do it, you will get 10 million naira back. Now you do not have a trade, you do not have a business, there's nothing you are doing, you just give the money and you're expecting 10 million back. It's not going to work. You will get frustrated. Now that is a belief. It is positive thinking. It is your mindset that, oh, God will bless me. But what are you doing? What work are you putting into that positive mindset to be able to get what you believe in? That's why I said positive thinking without work can never make you successful. You cannot balance your reality with that kind of positive thinking if you do not include work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really agree also with that. With that, positive thinking without works can be dicey. So I'll also give a little experience. I once worked in a place where it was very challenging, and while I was trying to cope with how that platform works with the place where I was losing my self-confidence because of the environment I found myself. It was very toxic for me, and how going to work every day felt like a nightmare because I just couldn't even think that okay, I was enough. And this is me coming from somewhere that I felt like okay, I could go through anything. But at that point in time, it was not visible. So what do I have to do to get through that place? I know first of all that being in that situation for a very long time can really mess with my mental health. So I had to start looking for new job opportunities, to be honest, because I knew the kind of capacity I could handle. I knew that working in a place that was too toxic for me was going to be a nightmare. So the works I had to put in place was understanding that okay, there is a problem, and also trying to push out my CVs to other places for me to get better jobs. So yes, personal or positive thinking without works can really be a challenge. So works aside from maybe doing anything career related, works can be maybe grief or or going for counseling. That is works, because if, for example, maybe as a lady you've been maltreated, or as a man you've been maltreated, or probably you went through heartbreak, and if you don't really try to solve that problem, probably trying to solve your hard issues, and you thinking that okay, going to a new relationship is going to solve the problem, you might still be doing yourself more harm. So works means that you can either try to heal yourself or maybe step away from relationship for a short period of time for you to heal up, maybe try to go to the gym or try to meet with new people for you to heal. But if you're just thinking that okay, because I think that I'm good enough, and then you're not solving that problem, maybe maybe when you're in a new relationship and then the person says, okay, I'm going to break up with you start feeling like you're not enough again. That circle is going to keep repeating itself. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. So we'll go on a short break, and once we come back, we'll take in more calls. Well, not the call, but we'll take in more responses from people, and then we'll proceed further.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your ability. You are capable of anything. You can achieve any dream. Please don't limit yourself. Don't live your life limited. It's not all sadness and misery. Life's a challenge, but you will succeed.
Thank you so much if you're still joining us, and if you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Damilola and we are talking about balancing positive thinking with reality. So many people have spoken about what positive thinking is, and we are still diving deep into the conversation. So the next person we are going to be having on board is Pradeep. Do you mind unmuting so that we can have you? How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great, Damilola.
Awesome.
This is really great that I've joined this, the live show and with you, because before it, I just the Olubukola. This is my second one. So I
Hey,
joined.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and because I have been on the LinkedIn almost 3 months, but and then I have very less connections and the few one, but I have gone through your post and the which you post every day on a LinkedIn, because the last time you posted about difference between Nigeria, living in a Nigeria and
Yeah.
England, London, and that post really mattered me a lot, because that inspired me a lot. And the recently you posted about the and how you can deal with your the root boss, and because on a work that's really helped me, because Damilola, I'm working as a fraud analyst with a very it's a reputed bank, is
Where are you
the
working?
gold
Are you in
uh,
India or in the UK?
in India. India,
Okay.
I'm working in India. But recently, I applied for the US university, because therefore the program is my degree program. So I've been working on my English communication a lot, because I appeared for the visa, so I couldn't clear my visa interview, because a reason behind it, the communication skill. They asked me just and they speak with the more people and how you can improve. So because you will live in the US, so there we need at least you can speak and communicate in
In
English also.
English. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so sometime, because I think always positive, and because the sometime not and too much positive, because the like the brother shared about it, ki what you think you have to work on it also, as well as, because you cannot think only the positive until unless you do work hard.
Yeah.
So Damilola, I'm here, so take a feedback from your end, and how we can do better. I can do better, because sometimes what happen in India is a country, it's a developing country, so there's no opportunity, because the we as a people, and the we move to Europe or the US, because from the Asia and Africa. So I would like to say one thing. This is my right decision what I'm taking right now, to go to the US, and how people live there, like
Yeah.
and yeah, people from the Asia and Africa, and how they treat with us, because I haven't any experience about it. I've read, because I read the blog, like you sometime you posted, and I have other friends also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm not gonna do the justice of maybe your for me your English is very good. We all have different accents. Even I that live in the UK thinking that I can speak English well. Sometimes when I
Yeah.
try to speak with white people, sometimes it feels like my English is not good enough. So I'm not gonna pass the judgment myself. So let's ask the audience. Now, if you think Pradeep English is good enough, let me see your like emoji. So please show the like emoji if you think Pradeep English is really fair enough. Okay, Pradeep, a lot of people are showing the love emoji, the like emoji. So you can see that you are doing great. So I'll just say that you keep pushing at it. We all are not perfect. I myself don't have the British English, but most times when I try to speak with them, I realize that, okay, probably
Yes.
learning a thing or two from them. So I would really say that keep at it, keep attending events like this, keep speaking to more people, and I really believe that you
Yeah,
would get what you're
Damilola.
looking for.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I would like to share now, because the way you write, because I really like your writings, because your writings, based on a factual based, because is too much informative. And even I have seen the way you write, I really like it. I just write in my notebook all your blogs and the which you posted,
Thank
because
you.
I try to learn it, because the way you explain about the Nigeria and the UK life, and how transportations, and people, culture, food, everything you explain, because since I've been following you, I'm learning, and I'm trying to imitating your writings and experience from. And because you put such a nice information about it, how we can work in the UK, Europe, like this. I really liked it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the feedback. I'm also going to be putting more information about this as well because I know that a lot of Nigerians or other people are really trying to balance their way either in the UK or in the US. So please keep following. We're going to have more events where I'll get to invite more people that have been in the UK for a long time to also share how we can also survive and live well in this country.
Yes.
So thank you so much. Okay, so before we go on to other people, I would like to read some comments from what people have said about this conversation. So Edith said that as a leader, so talking about what we are talking about, which is balancing positive thinking with reality, Edith said that as a leader in my workplace, the challenges have been so intense that I cried out at some point. However, creative and supportive family and friends have helped me stay positive and focus my energy on being productive than dying in the emotional stress I have encountered. We also have assets. He says that positive thinking can be a powerful tool to help us navigate life challenges, but it's important to balance it with a healthy dose of reality. So somebody else also mentioned, Onabanjo also mentioned that life can comfort us with difficult problems and positive thinking can be a useful tool in navigating them. It's critical to create a balance between optimism and acceptance of the situation reality. Personally, I had a severe career setback and positive thinking assisted me in remaining resilient. I was able to overcome the setback and find new chances by concentrating on my talents, obtaining help, and seeking decisive measures. Positive thinking must be combined with practical activities and a realistic appraisal of the situation. So we have that from some of the people that commented on this conversation. Now, moving forward, we would like to have Ajoke. Hi, Ajoke. How are you doing today?
Hi, Dami. I'm doing fine. And how are you doing, everyone? Hello, everyone.
Hi, Jockey.
Dami,
Right.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I would
Hi,
also
can
say
you
that
hear?
Ajoke has been, I think this is the second time speaking in my audio events.
Yeah.
Yeah, and funny enough, this is how LinkedIn works. I think we moved that conversation to WhatsApp because she really shared something interesting, and it was very interesting to know that we have some things that we share in common, like a name and a surname is also something that I bear. And then I bet one, she's June 12th, I'm June 11th. So that's the power of LinkedIn. So don't forget to connect with people if you're just in this call. Just ensure that you let them know that you're from this event and you like to connect with people. So Ajoke, let me ask you a question. Now, talking about you being a mom and you juggling between career and family, how would you say that positive thinking has helped you, especially when I'm very sure I know a lot of moms also go through so much, especially maybe when their kids are sick, or maybe they're trying to just ensure that their kids are growing up in a very good way. So, how do you ensure positive thinking even in this situation?
Okay, thank you so much, Dami. I was just going to respond. I think it's very, very important. What Pradeep, what you're doing, okay, I don't know if you can hear me. You're doing amazing.
Yeah, I can hear you.
And because one thing I was going to talk about was around the fact that positive thinking, right, has it's just people just say positive thinking, right? What exactly is positive thinking? That thought you have, right? And what feeds those thoughts? What is the thing you're focusing on that is actually building that thought that you have, right? Just to tell him what he has done is he is concentrating in some important posts, like some information from you. He's writing it. He said he wants to write and imitate your writing. He likes the way you write, so he's feeding himself. So I feel like that what he's doing is actually feeding that thought. What he's saying, like you advise him to talk more. It's just gonna build him more, right? Those are active steps that he's actually taking towards a reality because he knows what he wants. And just to add, Pradeep, whatever anyone has said to you does not define you. Your problems, your challenges, or whatever it is people have said does not define you. Now, coming back to the question you've asked, right? It's been a crazy roller coaster. So growing up, of course, when I got married, I know that, when you give birth, pregnancy was a lot of problems, right? A lot of like stressful pregnancy. And then the next thing is, don't worry, you give birth to the children, you give birth to the kids. Like, okay, at the end of the day, I tell myself, and I'm going to give this description, I know my destination, right? Whether I like it or not, I am going to have to hold this baby till I give birth to 9 months.
Yeah.
So all I need to do is, what do I need to feed myself from when I got pregnant till when I give birth? Is feed myself with the fact that this too will pass, I will get over this, and I was looking forward to the overall goal. And I'll give this example. Imagine you're taking a flight from we want to take a flight from Lagos, let's say to Abuja, or you're taking a flight from Nigeria to the UK, right? And the first thing you need to do in your head, like, what do you need to do to go to the UK? You cannot sit in your room and go to the UK. No way. You can't. So the first step is, think about it. You have to book your flight, right? You're taking those action. You're writing what are the things you need to do, and you're taking actions to it.
Yeah.
And there's a part in the Bible that says that the thief has come to steal, to kill, and to destroy, but I have come that you may have life.
Yeah.
So what that means is that it is promised that you will go through challenges in life, but you cannot afford to remain there, right? Those challenges are part of what makes you. Those challenges and the lessons you're learning, that the miracle you have is in that challenge. Mm-hmm. So that's my little contribution.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ajike. When you mentioned something about, sometimes you feel like, I have the kids now. I believe that once I have them, they'll stop. At least I'll be happy. And then when they're growing again, you start having the panic attacks. It makes me remember when I was still in school. I remember this particular day, I was outside of the school gate and I was on my school uniform and I saw people in the BRT buses, that's long buses, wearing mufti, enjoying themselves on the road. And I said to myself, I can't wait to stop wearing school uniform because I was tired of always ensuring that I wash my uniform every day. And now I finished secondary school, I realized that, moving to a place where you have to start wearing new clothes. So now the challenge of, how do I combine blue and black? How do I combine orange and this color? How do I ensure my hair is neat? As compared to your school days where you just know that, my uniform was just white and blue with a pair of socks and I'm good to go. So growing up, you now realize that, when I'm in school, I can't wait to graduate. After graduation, I can't wait to have a job. After I get a job, you have challenges in a job. And even while many people that are thinking that, for example, the issue of the UK, people coming to live abroad, thinking that, abroad is all rosy. Now, you come to the UK, you realize that there is not even much difference between where you're coming from and where you are now. I think I was speaking to my spouse that I can't remember the country, and they made mention of the country. I was like, this country too has problem as well. And it was like, every country has a challenge that they also are facing. You might think that, your country is just the only one that has a particular problem, but other countries are also facing their problems as well. So the idea of what you said, understanding that you really just have to make yourself happy. One thing that I think I know for myself is, if something is not working for me, I know that when I sleep and I wake up, at least I might be able to have it a rethink of, okay, how am I going to solve this challenge? So challenges would always come
Yeah.
every day, even if you
Part
are
of our life.
married. Even if you are married,
Yeah.
you what did you say?
I said they are part of our life. They are part of existence.
Yeah, so I think the ability for us to just know how to manage them and know that none of those problems really define us is a very good way to go. So we'll take more listeners, and once again, we'll be ending this section soon, maybe in the next 30 minutes or 20 minutes. But if you're still joining us, thank you so much for staying. And if you're still wondering, okay, what are these people talking about? Well, we're talking about the balancing positive thinking with realities, and a lot of people are sharing their experiences and they're sharing tips on how we can be able to overcome all of these challenges. So let's go on to Oluwaseyi. Hi Sheyi, how you doing?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's nice talking to everyone. This is my first time actually talking on LinkedIn,
I'm supposed to
and
start having drum rolls. So when people say it's my first time, I can give them enough drum rolls. Maybe the next section will have that.
it's nice now. At least, one thing I noticed about balancing positive thinking with reality is like is on what you're actually believing on, then there's a goal. But one thing with positive thinking and reality is you have to set goals. You have to know, okay, today I want to achieve this, and for that today, okay, mindfulness also is necessary, because when you're setting out goals, okay, I believe I can take this task off today, and on that day puts it in reality that yes, this is the day I want to do it, and on that same day be positive about it. Okay, today is the day. I believe in myself, I'm going to be successful. I believe in myself, I'm going to be doing, because I myself have had a lot of situations where I used to have this positive thinking, like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. But at one point in time, procrastination was my problem. And procrastinating also is more or less like a setback. So I learned a lot from that, and it is more or less like I just wanted to share that part about being positive, and being when you're being positive, you should apply actions so you don't face a setback, because there are some setbacks that affect us: procrastination,
Yeah.
the fear, and a lot of others that I don't want to shorten, because I know a lot of people have things to talk about. The
Yeah.
one thing is, with whatever you believe you want to do, like make sure you set a goal, and make sure you on that goal set a task that, okay, this is what I want to do for this day. Yes, today is Sunday. Okay, today is Sunday's church. Monday, okay, Monday I'm going for an interview,
Yeah.
and on this interview, prepare, so you don't fall back into a cycle, because positivity or positive thinking makes someone, without positive thinking, without work, puts you in a cycle. Yeah, I can do this tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow,
Yeah.
and when you are doing that, you fall into procrastination. So
Thank you
let me
so
just give
much.
a short point about that.
Thank you so much. So just ensure that positive thinking is backed up by work so that you don't get caught up in between. Okay, let's take
Yes.
DK Journal. Hi DK Journal, how you doing?
Hi everyone. So I'm going to say it's my first time ever on LinkedIn. I just decided to start taking my LinkedIn serious last week after being on it for 10 years.
LinkedIn is becoming more fun, I must say. I think a lot of younger people are taking LinkedIn advantage. So it's more fun, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I've loved the platform, and I think I've enjoyed today's conversation. And the last speaker, I didn't get his name. He ate on something I was going to talk about.
Okay.
I always say that there's a difference between self-awareness and something else. So everybody is aware of who they are. They are introverts, they are extroverts, they are different people. I call myself an introverted introvert. And that affected me growing up because I did not see myself as a creative. I felt the people that were creative were people that were drumming, singing, dancing. I can't dance to save my life. My voice is terrible when I sing. So
Well, you are a podcast host. I can see that.
yes, I am now a podcaster, so that's where I'm going to. So I read a book that was called Strength Finder, and this is what I realized, that I needed to take ownership of my own self development. I cannot outsource my personal development to someone else. In the past, we had the educational system, they told us what to do. Now, if for those of you that are out of school, you now have an opportunity to train yourself for who you are, not who you wish you were. So I was trying to be an extroverted host, not realizing that there was power in being an introverted host when I eventually started speaking, because it took me a while to start speaking. From the first idea to start my YouTube channel in 2011, 2012, to my first podcast in 2016. That's how long it took me from having the idea to actually taking the step. And I was already writing things down because there are quite a few things that I had to do. But one of them was taking ownership of my self development. I did not outsource it to anybody, to any coach, to any mentor. And I had to be intentional about the company that I kept. So I had self accountability and group accountability. So I surrounded myself with people that could help me grow and could correct me when I was wrong, because I have my blind spots. There are certain parts of myself that I can't see, but there are certain parts that someone else that is outside looking in can see, but someone that is trustworthy and wants the best for me, because not everyone wants the best for you, and it is okay. I realized that I don't need to, as a retired people pleaser, I stopped trying to please every single person, because no matter what you're doing, if you're looking at the power of positive thoughts, if you're trying to please people, you're going to be saying only what they want you to say, not even what you want to say or what to do. So taking ownership was the first thing, surrounding myself with the right people, reading the books that I wanted to read, not because a guru recommended it, because now that I understood who I was, which took a while, so I had to be patient with myself. When I understood who I was, I could then take ownership of my own personal development and then tailor my growth by myself before going outside to look for help based on where I wanted to grow. And it starts with one step. The name of my first blog was so long. It was Until the Knowledge of the Glory of the Lord Takes Over the Earth as Water Covers the Sea. .blogpost.com.
Oh, what is that?
I just got the idea and I started. I was afraid, but I did it. And now it has turned to something differently. But what I'm trying to say is, if I did not start then,
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't have been where I was. If I didn't start using Canva in 2014, I wouldn't have designed my first book with Canva. But I was always trying and improving. I wasn't afraid to fail anymore. Before, I was afraid of what people would say. What if I fail? What if I make a mistake? Oh, I have H factor. So I'm not a Yoruba girl, but I grew up in Lagos. I live in London. My pastor would say, "Did you drink Lagos water?" This one that you're sounding like a Yoruba woman. And those things, sometimes it gets to your head. And I had to start having meetings with myself, having conversations with myself. So the power of positive thinking is not once and done. It's something you do consistently. Some people have affirmations that they speak out to themselves regularly. I would recommend you do that. But what I do is I have daily reflection. So daily audits, I have a meeting with myself at the end of the day. Weekly reflection at the end of the week, and then I have a weekly planning meeting. Monthly reflection. And the reason I have broken it into this, the 4 quarterly, is this. There are some times when I started in 2014, 15, I would not realize I have not achieved my goal till December or October, November, when I'm reviewing my goals for the next year. So you don't realize how off track you've gone on the journey that you've said you want to be on, because you have not had that meeting with yourself. You have to tell yourself the truth. What did I do wrong? What lessons can I learn from this? What changes am I making? Okay, I would make these changes. And you have to have that discipline to do it yourself. Don't wait for someone else. So this is what I mean. There are sometimes that other people can help you. They can push you. Even if you have a coach or a mentor, your coach and mentor, Dami can host the best sessions she wants to host for us. But if we don't take action,
Yeah, true.
we're not going to grow. And you can take action one day. You came for this today. Pooja, you're doing amazing. You came for this today and you've written it once. Then tomorrow you run away and you don't do it again. No, you continue. It's continuous. It's not something you do once. It's about, sometimes you look at other people's routines, and I like what he said about writing the blog post and then trying to write like that. That is somebody that is self-aware. but has accepted who he is and is now taking action. So I call it the 3 A's. There's self-awareness, there's self-acceptance, but there's self-action. The action has to be taken by you. And with self-action comes with you understanding that later is not a date. I will do it later, it's not in my dictionary. I will do it at this day, at this time, and I will be in this place. So it's not when you are trying to read that you're thinking, where is my laptop charger? Where is my pen? Where is this? Every single thing you need has to be.
Yeah.
So it's about discipline, it's about consistency, but most important, you believe in yourself first.
Awesome.
Believe in yourself first, and then keep on attending sessions like this where you can talk to other people so that you're not doing it on your own. The truth is that freelancers, we are so, especially with freelancers, if you host your podcast, if you edit and do everything by yourself, you are alone.
Yeah.
But what you need is a community. You need to hear from other people. You need to understand that, so this person's experience is also my experience. So I am not silly. So there's nothing wrong with me. Someone else is experiencing it. And I just believe that you will do great. So thank you so much for taking the step and coming out today. I think you've done taking the first step. Just take more steps and be consistent.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Thank you. Poja really seems he has a lot of fans today. Okay. So I'm going to have Teresa. Hi, Teresa. Can you unmute, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, great.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, this is my second time of attending this live session.
Okay.
And okay, I attended one for last week rather, on the importance of user experience in Nigerian mobile app.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
my first time of attending. So during the week, I noticed you posted another LinkedIn audio session today, so I decided to join.
Thank you.
I actually find this very interesting because it has a lot to do with what I've passed through in life, and I intend to just give my story and how the techniques I use to actually what I did that was helpful for me. Okay, so, and let me quickly run through what I did, because I also have something to say to Pradeep Emmanuel. I don't know if he's still here.
I think he should be. I don't know.
I hope he's still here. Okay, all right. So let me quickly dive into what I have to say.
He's here.
All right. So last year I had some kind of health challenge, and it requires I go for surgery. So as at that point in time, I was out of job. I was doing freelancing already, and I was out of job. Like, I don't have any project.
Sorry, can you get to a place that is still a little bit quiet, because it's a bit noisy in the background?
Okay. Is it better like this?
Yes.
Is it better?
Enough. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So during that time, I was what I did basically was that I already know, okay, I have a problem. Okay, I have an issue, or I have a challenge. Okay, what else? What can I do? I don't have money, and I needed money, and I can't go begging. So what do? I just decided to take like different 4 steps. So what I do is, each morning when I wake up, I prepare as if I'm going to work. Another thing I did, I was just preparing. I would just prepare. I'll put on my work clothes, and I'll get online to look for what I can do and all that. So another thing I did was to activate a smiling hormone inside of me. I decided not to let all my challenges affect me. I just decided to smile at any little thing that annoy me. I smile at it. I don't want anything to break me down, because I noticed that what breaks people down basically, when you're broken, and you don't see a way of coming out of that brokenness, it keeps you there. don't dwell on your challenges for too much. When you dwell on your challenges, it keeps you there. It doesn't make you wanting to move to the next point in life. So another thing I also did was to put my state of mind at rest. Because you see, your state of mind as well, the way you put yourself can actually make the universe to come and help you. So these are the steps I actually take then that actually helped me. I don't want what I was passing through to weigh me down. And what happened after like a week that I put up all this strategy, I just got a call for a job, and it was like a recommendation someone I've actually worked for. So the person just called me, oh, Tasi, I have a job for you. After I did that job, while I was on that job, I had two other jobs. And let me not lie to you, within this period, I was able to get up to like, I don't want to exaggerate, I got up to like ₦1 million because, and it was funny. It was my state of mind. I believe it was my state of mind that brought the universe to to think in my direction. That was what happened. So most times, guys, for positive thinking, and also if we're going through challenge, I always don't like to dwell too much on my challenge. I'm a very positive person. I just like to dive into action. And it also comes from you preparing, having a prepared mind that something good is coming, something good is coming. These are what I have actually tried to do. So,
Awesome. Thank you so much, Teresa. I really agree with that because, there are sometimes when you also walk into a room and let's say you see someone looking all dressed up, you don't know what that person is going through. Immediately, you have a very positive perception of that person. So let's use a part of English, for example. There was a place where I was working that I thought I was not good enough. No, I felt that I was good, but because I was just starting on that role for the first time, it felt strange. And then people in the room would be like, sorry, we can't hear what you're saying. And obviously I was speaking the same English. And I realized that this thing that kept coming, when I now want to speak, my voice started moving backwards and I started shaking. And it's the same English we all speak, So that part of knowing that, whatever comes your way, you are enough, and understanding that everybody goes through these challenges. Everybody is just trying to use the word, we say just package. Everybody has one or two things they are dealing with, and the ability to know that, this person that maybe became first class, or this person that eventually scaled up to this level where he or she is, this person has gone through this challenge. And I think I remember I made a post about saying that even if you're hot, express yourself. And I'm also getting personally to the point where even if I don't have enough money in my account today, I don't want to think that I'm going to be poor forever. So even if maybe I'm not making the millions, exactly, or I'm not making the pounds that I want now, by the time you realize that when there is life, there is hope, I'm still going to get through this phase. So yeah, that positive mindset thing, I would say that is really helpful. So thank you so much, Teresa. So let me go on to Mba, then we have the rest of the people on the call. Hi Mba, how you doing?
So I want to start with by saying that everything I'm going to say here is my personal experience as an entrepreneur. Yes. If you want to be positive, like grow, like you want to grow in whatsoever you're doing, be it a teacher, be it a principal, CEO, entrepreneur, whatsoever, a job seeker, you have to be aware of your environment. That is environmental consciousness. If you're in something like you're in Nigeria, for example, you're in Nigeria and people, we say life in Nigeria is difficult, or maybe you're in Cameroon, you have crisis, or maybe you are in the, let's talk about the coronavirus that came. There were people that were failing in businesses and some other people were progressing in businesses.
Yeah.
That is how positivity functions. Some people were progressing because They were positive enough to take the advantage of the drawbacks that surfaces. That is, they thought that it was going to be possible to proceed and make more sales and even more sales than before because we can go online to start selling online. Selling online became more powerful from the time COVID-19 came.
Yeah.
So people were more positive, boiling down to being ready to accept changes, knowing that there are things you cannot control and there are things you can control. Your friends might leave you, some might stay, your employees might leave, some might stay. So you have to be positively aware of these things that are going to be happening. You have to be prepared because betrayers come and they break you down because you're always about the fact that these things might not happen. You're not aware that these things might happen to you. So when you're positive about these things and you're intentional about these things, when they come to you, you embrace them and you move on.
Okay.
To my second point, you have to be realistic. Somebody talked about truth, being truthful to yourself, right?
Yeah.
You have to be realistic. The things that you know that you are not able to do, you yourself know. We post every day on social media, we go out, we dress well, we do a lot of things, but you can if you lie to the world, you cannot lie to yourself, you cannot lie to God, you cannot lie to your conscience. That is the truth about it. So when you do the things you do that we see out there, go back to yourself and try to adjust the things that you know that you personally know you have to adjust in order to perfect your outreach out there. Self-awareness, facing reality. That is positive thinking with reality.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Umba. And we have Miss Dr. Ademola. How are you doing today, sir?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Do you mind if you can speak up a little bit, please? It's a bit faint. Okay.
Let me put it up. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I think this is my second time here,
Yeah.
and I hope this my cough issue will not drop things today. Okay, so yeah, I would also love to talk my perspective, my what I have been through. I'll start from that aspect. There has never been anything at all that I achieved in my life that is as a result of luck. Nothing since I was born that I realized I'm in this hurt. From my primary school, till when I grew up to my 18, 20, 20 something, 30 years, there was nothing like luck. So everything I had, I have to work hard for it. I have to believe in myself and believe in God for it. So there was nothing like luck. Now, let's move a little bit back to the scripture. He says, whatever a man conceives, he can achieve. So that's positivity.
Thank you so much, Study Mala. We really had our time. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really believe that you covered a lot of things that we spoke about today, and I really believe that our audience are learning a thing or two from what you've said. So we'll give the mic on to Mr. Shegun, we'll have Jeremiah, and then we'll end up with Annie. Apologies if we can't take any more hands because we are really out of time. So thank you so much, Dr. Ademola rather. Hi, Mr. Shegun.
Hi.
Okay, good evening.
Good day to all. I'm pleased to be here. I think this is my first time of joining this kind of presentation, and it's really a good one. I've listened to all the talks that has gone so far. I was thinking of where I can come in, but let me share my own experience this way. Because I've been thinking of how to put it out there so that
yes, sir.
It can sound like make a meaning to everyone. Let me start this way. that positive thinking and reality also bring to thought tomorrow, sort of. You know, when we're thinking positively, it's also as well to influence what tomorrow is expected to be for any individual. So, say after saying that, let me say, in my growing up, at least I'm close to 50 now. In my growing up, I have been a person that never thinks of tomorrow. It's not because I'm not a positive thinker. I am quite all right, but I've never thought of what will be like tomorrow all through my lifetime until a later part stage of my life when there has been like pulling here and there by environment, relative, and what with that. And also, this is also partly influenced by the immediate environment in the course of development. How? What do I mean? I am not an introvert, but my environment made me an introvert. I don't know if it is scientifically proven because they always say sometimes people are born as either introvert, extrovert, and things like that. Now, how did my environment influence me to become an introvert? I'm a Yoruba by nature, coming from Yoruba tribe, and in the course of development and in the family setting that we have, when you want to speak, especially it's common to Yoruba, they will say, you are a younger person, you don't talk. When you want to contribute to a particular thing, they will say, no, you don't do this. And in the course of doing that, it forms the mindset development of people as they grow up. So this affects most of the time the mentality of people while they grow up. So, as you like I said before, this influences also my development,
Yeah.
which turned me into an introvert. Not later in life, I discovered that I'm a positive contributor. I think in a quite and rational way, in which when events around me demands one form of contribution, I always want to influence. But the nature by which I have been made to become becomes a restriction to influencing whatever I, even up till now, like in immediate family, you see how elder ones that they want to influence what you do or what you say or how you become in life. So this try as so much to kind of become a limitation to somebody in trying to achieve what ones want to achieve. And that's why I appreciate some of the contributors. You just have to break free.
Yeah, break
You
free.
wouldn't allow whatever form of limitation out there, whatever circle of restriction out there, the immediate environment, whatever, even maybe as a result of development growing up that has allowed you to be formed in yourself, you wouldn't allow those things to limit you, restrict you, or put you down. You should always reach out for the best in you because you know it is deposited there. It is latent. It's just waiting for you to discover, unravel, and utilize. I think this, so that I don't take much of our time. This is just the angle at which I'm coming from, so that whatever limitation, whatever things we encounter, they should not weigh us down. The fact is that they are there. They are there. You are surrounded by it, but you can break through. You can break free. You can overcome. So the mindset should just be that whatever attitude we are putting, whatever positive nature we are churning out, that
Yeah.
challenge can be overcome.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I really agree with all you said. In fact, I was going to bring out some points from the book power of the mindset, or I've forgotten the title. I was going to share some point, but to be honest, everybody's points here, they are quite full, and I'm going to give a summary of everybody. So we just have two more people left. Short and sweet, please. Let's have Jeremiah, then we'll have Annie, and then we'll wrap up the show. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Even to this time, we were actually out of time. This was not what we planned, but because we wanted to give everybody the room to share their experiences, because at least one person should be able to take something home tonight. So hi Jeremiah.
Okay, good to I want to appreciate you for organizing this program.
Thank you.
And this is my first time being on LinkedIn.
Awesome.
By saying failing is not a problem, but it becomes a problem when you fail and you stay low. Staying low is the problem. Now, we can attest that not everyone that's okay or wealthy are of positive mindset. But because you can be wealthy and still not be positive in actions, because being positive is staying right and doing the right thing, even when it seems difficult or uncomfortable for you. Now, in this conversation, experiences we all shared, we can agree that decision making plays a key role in this when it comes to balancing positive thinking with reality. You're the first person to make this decision. Now, there's an adage saying that said, except you discover the you in you can never be discovered. So you have to advise yourself, tell yourself, believe in yourself, take that decision. Yes, this is what I want to do. Then if a third party advises you, and if you don't take such advice, you decide which advice what will work for you. Now, being consistent without dynamic idea and consideration is a failure. You keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. You don't want to try some other means of doing that same thing to get an effective result. This comes in our job, place of work, or being a freelancer, doing what you know how to do best. You keep doing it, you're getting the same challenges, and you don't want to seek for ideas. You don't want to change another way of achieving that particular task.
Yeah.
You just want to be there, you just want to stay there. Is a problem. Also, patience without putting the work to action is also a failure. When you're patient waiting, God is there, God will provide for me, God have already given you hands and leg. I'm talking based on the aspect of the job, the workflow. Maybe someone can have the more than one skill. You're this, you're that, you can do this, you're good at what you can do, but you find out that you're not having the job, or you're not having clients, and you seem not to figure out some certain ways why this particular problem is arising. And by that time, if you mingle yourself with a particular set of people, set of friends, because friends can either affect your life positively or negatively. So the kind of friends you keep also plays a major role in your life when you're trying to balance your positive thinking. To make it short, when balancing positive thinking, you must consider the problem, hear from experiences, then you act on the solution on what you have gathered. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeremiah. So I'm going to read out everybody's point at the end of the show. So thank you so much. Over to you, Annie. Let's just hear from you and then we can wrap up.
Hi, Dami. Thank you so much for
nice to have you again.
Yes, I know. I saw you popped up. I thought I should join in.
Thank you.
Yes. So, and I feel that is a very good topic to discuss today, because as you know, I've been dealing with a lot of international students and candidates that came here, and most of them are struggling with balancing, their thinking with the reality they face here right now in the UK. So they're emotionally drained, majority of them, because they made the wrong choices or they didn't plan before they got in here. So a lot of them are struggling. But what my message is that, a lot of you here have spoken about positive mindset, okay, which is key. Because if you don't have that positive mindset, you're going to struggle. And having that, for you to have that, you need to be in the mix of the right people. Speak to the right people. Speak with the right people.
Speak with the right people. Awesome. Thank you so much, Annie. Thank you so much, Annie. So if you're still with us and if you're still just joining us for the first time, you're still having a conversation, balancing positive thinking with reality. So before we round up, I just want to share, or I'll just play a clip, a 1-minute clip of someone for you to just hear. Stephen, I think you all will know him when I start playing his clip. So once I play his clip, I'll just give a conclusion and give a review of what everybody has said so that we all can take notes and hopefully put it to action.
You have got to change the way you think. It is the whole determining factor of where you go in life. We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. If you don't like the position, think yourself out of it. Your brain is divided into two halves: positive and negative, good and evil. It don't function on nothing else. Ain't no neutral ground in your brain. It's either positive and good or negative and evil. Each half of your brain has millions of factory workers on each side. You got 1 million factory workers on the positive side. You got 1 million factory workers on the negative side. At the forefront of each one of those factories in your brain is a foreman. You got foreman positive and you got foreman negative. You are in charge. You're the boss of the factory. Guess what? We are how we think. You can't make a world, but you can make your own world.
So I believe that was helpful. So in conclusion, Steve was saying that we can actually make the world that we want, no matter the circumstances that we find ourselves. Yes, it can be difficult. Yes, it can be tough. But there are things that we all can do to ensure that, okay, no matter the challenges I'm going through, I'm not going to give up. Some of the point people raised was that for you to balance positive thinking with reality, you have to believe in yourself. You have to be realistic and you have to be mentally prepared. Okay, whatever it is I'm going through, how can I overcome this? You have to believe in yourself. You have to have a dream. You have to set achievable goals. You have to have positive self-affirmation, because that is really going to help you as you go further. You have to take calculated risks and you have to be determined. You have to leave your comfort zone, because sometimes your comfort zone can be limiting you, and sometimes your comfort zone might not take you to where you're really destined to be. Don't allow limitations to stop you. You have to be decisive. You have to be with the right people. You have to connect with the right people, because when you're surrounded with the right people, they would push you to where you want to be. You have to believe in God, and you have to tell God to help you in whatever situation you find yourself. And lastly, you have to just keep moving, because at the end of the day, that is what's really gonna change the way you think and the way your life is. So thank you, everybody. We are going to have the replay of this on YouTube, so ensure you follow our page, DFY Talk Show, on LinkedIn, so that we can put the replay link there as well. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate your support, and don't forget to follow us. Thank you once again, and you have an amazing evening.